you know, a lot of people say, how would you describe Facebook? How do you describe the social media side of it? For me, it's a personalized newspaper. It's something you can open every day that should have everything that matters to you and should be learning all the time as a platform what matters to you more than other things. And that's an experience you guys might relate to, and I'm happy to chat about that when we've got plenty of time after this. So the other side of digital is not only that it's this great platform, but it also is with you all the time, especially if you take mobile. And this study was done by Ipsos late last year and released it last week. But it's showing you there that 40% of our Facebook users in South Africa check Facebook in the morning before they get up, and a pretty similar number check it in the evenings before they go to bed. And it's sort of amusing, but when I ask everyone if anyone disagrees, there's generally muted silence. So does anyone think this is crazy? Yeah, me neither, right? Should be higher. The other side, and this is part of the discussion we often have with clients, and you know, there's this big push right now about multi-screening and the fact that we all have multiple devices, and how do you maintain people's attention while they're watching a TV show, but you know that during the break they're moving on to their mobile. And it was interesting here that 92% of Facebookers are online during prime time. So this was a good study for us, and it was really helpful for us and the team from Facebook to come down and really treat it as an entry for discussions with marketers. Okay, so the other thing that digital can do, which is cool, is that you can target without waste. And this is a good example for me of, imagine that you're a business and you've developed an app for the new Gautrain station that you're setting up in Soweto. And this app is running on Android. This is very feasible, very possible type of thing that you're trying to market. So what you might do traditionally outside of the digital space is you might say, let's target all South Africans who watch a particular show, because that's one way we can sort of get that sort of, you know, maybe the audience that's more relevant, maybe it's a train show, maybe it's Generations that's airing in Soweto, whatever the story is to hit your target audience. But then imagine this. Imagine you can run an ad to South Africans who live in Soweto and have smartphones that are running Android. That's sort of perfect marketing, right? That's getting into your personalized marketing. That means you're serving your ads to exactly the people that it matters to. No waste. And that's something that we can do today on Facebook. Literally today, you can run an ad that can run to people who are using their phones in Soweto on Facebook, and their phones are Android, and they're using smartphones, not feature phones. So it's an era and it's a snapshot, and it's not unique or peculiar to Facebook. This is a sign of the sort of stuff that you can do as digital marketers. And I always say the fine line here is we call the freakiness factor at Facebook, which is if it gets too granular, it can get a bit freaky. So the idea is to find that balance. And that's one of the reasons when someone says to me, if I wanted to run a campaign that targeted people called Sarah, and I've got a sister called Sarah who lives in California. So people called Sarah who live in California, were born in South Africa, have an iPhone, and safari in Kenya, or go to the bush in Kenya. That's sort of data you can pull in Facebook as a market if you want to target a group. The problem there is it's hitting the freakiness factor because there's actually one person in the world who qualifies. And so what will happen there is that Facebook won't allow you to run those ads. It'll say this segment is too narrow. So, you know, it also plays into the story of scale. And Facebook is very interested, and we are interested as a business, playing in this personalized marketing space, but also giving businesses that scale. I'm not going to spend too much time here because I've sort of highlighted it. But when a marketer goes online, and let's say you guys are marketers for your business, and you chat to your digital agency, and you say, you know, we want to target this crew in Soweto, or we want to target people who've just come back from traveling. Or we'd love to run an ad for females 18 to 30 who like to watch Generations and have a birthday in the next week. Facebook can come back and pull that audience view and say, there are 43,000 South Africans who qualify in this space. Would you like to target them in Joburg or Cape Town? And this is the sort of insight that you would get in the platform. And that would be the process you'd go through. And these are actual screenshots. And each one of those would be a box and it would go through. But really exciting stuff from a marketing perspective. This is very much that personalized marketing coming back. There's other stuff that's cool that you can do in digital. This is something we did with a client recently in South Africa. And what we did is we said to them, we said, you've got a lot of customers who let's say you're a telco operator, let's say you're MTN. You've got high-value customers, right? And you've got their phone numbers, you've got their email addresses because they signed up with Rika, and they're on your books. But the only way you can communicate with these sort of 10,000 high spenders on MTN is you can either send them a text message or you can send them an email. We know that emails just don't work like they used to in terms of as marketing tools. Thanks to the likes of Gmails and all the rest of them, they often filter a lot of stuff, like all your Groupon ads now get grouped together if you use a lot of the cloud email servers. And text messages are not the best way to communicate with high-value subscribers. It's generally seen as a massive nuisance. So the solution we did was we said, well, why don't you put together your audience of high-value customers? And what we're going to do is we're going to find them on Facebook for you. So what we did is we got their data. It then got completely encrypted before it left the business. It then went into a black box. We then got our data of our user base, completely encrypted it and chopped it down, put it into the box. It then does an overlap and say, okay, well, let's find email addresses that work between what people use on Facebook and what you as a business use. Oops, let's do another sweep and let's do cell phone numbers. A lot of people have their cell phone details in Facebook, and we'll overlap that with as a telco operator what you've got. The net result is you guys as a telco, in that case, end up having a custom cluster called high-value customers on Facebook. And you can then run a campaign to those people on Facebook and reignite that conversation on Facebook.